on the nutrition segment. Of course, this segment is sponsored by Lily Rice. Lily Rice, tasty food, happy family. All right, so Akosia Kunidu has joined us in the studio. And we're going to have a conversation about correcting height challenges with nutrition. All right, good morning, Akosia. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Yourself?
I'm very well, thank you. You look a little subdued. Is the weather?
I feel cold. I feel cold.
But how are you? How was the weekend?
God's grace was enough.
All right. Good. So let's get into the topic.
Yeah.
At what age is it too late to worry about it? You can't do anything about it.
Okay, so once someone hits 20,
it's too late.
You can only maintain. And for a baby, after age 2, almost nothing can be done about stunting.
Okay.
It's like nothing can be done about stunting when it's above 2 for a child. So when you pick your MCHRB or the maternal and child health record book, that is if you're going to any proper hospital, that is the book you are to be given.
I found my daughter's school this weekend. It was lying around.
That's nice. It's normally red.
Yeah.
Yes, but some hospitals can do a little bit of rebranding because they are not in to promote maybe the Ghana Health Service or promote the World Health Organization.
Yeah.
But if wherever you are taking your child to, so I want to start with the children because obviously we will all pass there before we get to be adults.
Yes.
If you are going to the hospital and your child's length, so for babies, we say length. Someone was like, Akosia, I think when I sent the flyer and the notes, was like, oh, it is not, we don't say length, we say height. I was like, okay, thank you so much. But once it has to do with babies,
yeah, but a baby is lying down, so it's length.
Stand, so it is length.
It's length, yes.
So you do the you use the infantometer. You won't put me on an infantometer. So for me, you take my height. But for a baby, you take their length because they lie down. So that is and she was like, thank you for education. That's a senior nurse for that. So we are all learning here. If it's a baby and you are going for weighing, what we call the CWC, it's CWC, but we call it weighing. You should make sure your child's
length. What is CWC?
Child Welfare Clinic.
Okay.
So it's to assess the growth status, whatever that has to do with your child, and it is done with the nurses at the CWC or the community health nurse, and then a pediatrician, and then a nutritionist. So be conscious about these 3 professionals I've mentioned when it has to do with CWC or weighing.
Okay.
Your child's weight is not enough when it comes to assessing the health of your child. So the nutrition status of this child will need to be assessed, and where there is any condition or the need for a pediatrician to also come in, it is to be done. So you find out that most of these hospitals, especially the private hospitals, who are even charging much than the government facilities would do, because for the government facility, if you come and see me and a nutritionist is sitting at the government facility, you pay nothing. They check the length, but most of these private guys are not checking the length of the baby.
Oh,
so
really?
at 3 months, your child's length should be checked, because when the baby was born, the head circumference, the length, the weight, and a whole lot was
all
done.
Of that is
so
measured,
you need to maintain to know if this child is doing well or backsliding, where we can step in, because a nutritionist can step in at 6 months and correct every deficiency that is leading to probably stunting before your child gets to age 2. Because at 2 or after 2, and little can be done about this. The child is stunted. So 3 months, the length will be checked. 6 months, length is checked. 9 months, length is checked. So 6 months, the MWAC is checked. Then 9 months, length MWAC is checked. The mid-upper arm circumference, 12 months is checked. 1 year, 6 months, that's 18 months. It's also checked. 2 years until your child is 5 years. Always make sure that the child's length or height, when they can stand, is checked. So that we can know if your child is doing well. For instance, I met a client this weekend. Everything is well, but I realized that the length doesn't fall within the +2 -2 z-score. That is where every normal, healthy length should be. When you pick your weighing book, you can see that.
Okay.
Then I probed further. Is the dad tall, or how is it like in the paternal line and then the maternal line? You need to do all that, because I am looking this way, but my mom doesn't look anything like I am. I look. But I look everything like my dad, or my dad's line. Okay. So if that is established, you can say that, oh, because my mom is big, I have to look this way. Genetics will have a part to play. And the same thing applies to height. Genetics can have a part to play. So when you realize that that is an issue with the family, there are factors to make sure you put in place to make sure it is corrected or something is done about it. So once you are 18 to 20, I am sorry, it is too late.
Okay.
But whilst we are there, even after 5, something can be done, because among boys, among girls, there are things that happen when it comes to before puberty, or even before a girl will experience her first menstruation. Okay. She is growing taller 8 centimeters per year.
I see.
After puberty, it will go a little bit down. For boys, before they also hit puberty, or before they begin to show all those signs we were taught in school, life skills, they will also grow 6 centimeters per year. But it moves to 8 centimeters, and it is very fast once they hit puberty. Okay. Once the deep voice and other things begin to set in, they also grow. They move to 8 centimeters, and it can be slow for girls and then for guys. But you need to do the plotting as far as the growth monitoring is concerned. That is, you pick the CDC chart and be able to know the percentile for you to know where a particular child will fall. Okay.
Before we look at the standard lengths that people should expect, you know, for their children at different ages, let's look at what nutrition, the impact nutrition has on height. What are the things that we need to take in, avoid, and so on and so forth?
So everything about us revolves around nutrition. Everything. So nutrition plays a pivotal role as far as the length and the height of a baby, an adolescent, a preschool, schoolgoer, everybody within the life cycle is concerned. Now, to start off, proteins are very, very good. And one classical example I'll give under protein is egg. Egg is a powerhouse. It's a nutrition powerhouse. It has a lot to give you when it comes to your height. It is loaded in protein, and then that's first-class protein or primary protein, and not just protein, iron also. So iron, folate, especially based on the combinations we have. So let's say I had palava sauce with egg, and then boiled rice. The egg will complement my palava sauce by making sure I have everything I need as far as protein is concerned from the egg. And then this palava sauce also will be supplying me with my folate need. So that combination will help as far as improving on my bone health and my overall growth, because once I am growing, it would definitely reflect on how I will look as far as my height and everything is concerned. So I tell mothers who come that whatever the child will be eating when he is my age, start introducing the child to it early. Because if you are to wait, saying that, okay, because baby is not like me, I can't give baby certain foods, I'm buying all these processed things for this child. Ask yourself, is the child's folate stores, iron stores, potassium stores, magnesium stores, these are the nutrients, phosphorus stores, calcium stores, potassium stores, vitamin K stores, vitamin E stores. Are you enhancing or making sure all those stores are taken care of? I will start off by moving also onto vitamin B12, vitamin E, taurine. So let me talk about vitamin E. Now, it is responsible for the inhibition of the formation of osteoclast, which leads to loss of bone tissue. So once you have reduced your risk of osteoclast, it means that you are obviously going to improve on your bone health. There is no way I can grow taller if I have issues with my bone or something that has to do with my bone is not working properly. We all know that calcium is for the formation of stronger bones and teeth. So if you are lactose intolerant or your child is lactose intolerant, if your child is Jesus PD, and for instance, I want to give my child soya milk. After 2, please don't give your child any milk apart from breast milk or baby milk if your child is not over 2. So let's say I want to give soya bean milk because that's what we use in the house, but my child has Jesus PD food defect. No matter how good that soya milk is, because of the deficiency, it is not advisable that I give it to the child. So know the health and nutritional needs of your child before you decide on what you want to give your child. You don't need calcium from just soya bean milk, or you don't get it from just there. There are other sources of calcium. Even the meat you are giving your child has everything to do as far as calcium stores is concerned.
Okay. All right. So we will continue with that.
With the nutrients.
Yes, after this short break. Let's take a short break. We'll come back and we'll continue going through the list of the foods you need.
Bro. Bless you, Pastor.
Bless you, my son.
Ifo, it be so, it be so, it be so, it be so, it be so. Ewi, my body is come after this is something.
Find out why people are going a whole 9 yards just to eat Lele rice. Lele, tasty food, happy family.
This advert is FDA approved.
All right, welcome back. So we were speaking earlier on about the food requirements for toddlers, basically to help them to get maximum or optimal height as they grow. Akosia, let's continue. What else do they need?
So you need magnesium-rich foods, omega-3 fatty acid-rich foods, good source salmon. Vitamin C-rich foods, and the citric family foods, oranges, pineapple, they all fall under vitamin C, and that will also help with the absorption of the iron and the folates in some of the food, like the contomere, palava sauce, and egg I spoke about. Sometimes you have all the nutrients in there, but absorption is not happening. So a classical example after your rice with your contomere with egg is to have, let's say, 1 orange for absorption to properly happen. So we have foods like yogurt, quinoa. I know that Chef Ruby loves to cook a lot of the cooking segments with quinoa. Quinoa is very, very, very good as far as the nutrient deposit also is concerned. So you can have like the nutrients I mentioned, quinoa, yogurt, eggs, and all that. Vitamin C rich food, omega-3 rich foods, and a lot. The time is not on our side. I would have loved to go in one by one, but don't worry, I'll write something on my pages to help you better understand a lot of the nutrients you will need, and then the specific foods attached to every one of the nutrients mentioned. So that is it for how to eat to make sure you are boosting on your child's meal. But basically, you sticking to a healthy diet will make sure you have all these things. Once you are satisfying the 4-star diet protocol specified for us by the World Health Organization and Ghana Health Service, you will be doing yourself some good as far as these nutrients are concerned.
Okay, so let's go and look at some charts here, and we want to see the length for age. This is for girls.
For girls.
Length for age chart, and let's see what we're looking at here. what's the average length of a child? If you can walk us through.
So for a child, once you are considering the chart length for age for girls, for example, the normal is supposed to be between +2 to -2 standard deviation. So that's what we do, the Z-score. So we use the Z-score when it comes to plotting of the length for age of girls. So when you have a child below -3, so when you have a child below -3 and all family questions have been asked, is the dad tall, is the dad short, is the mother short, is the mother tall, do we have short people in the family? If you have something, if you've asked all these questions and this child is so short, then it should inform you that there is a deficiency somewhere. So as part of the care plan you would design for this child, you should make sure that if this child, normally it happens when they are taking family foods and complementary feeds, then you make sure these nutrients are deliberately incorporated. So a research found that even in Ghana, people from the other part of our country goes like, we don't have money to buy all these stuff, but they are rearing fowls and what have you, guinea fowls. So an egg a day can even make a difference, because I've spoken even about eggs. One egg, large egg, will give you 24 calories. Just one egg. So if you want to help this child, as far as even if the child is not yet there, you have guinea fowls in the house, just an egg a day can do something incredible for this child. So if your child is between the +2, so the 2 reds, you see there's normal on the green line.
We are looking at which one? We are looking at the
length for girls.
Yes, I know, but are we looking at the green line, the red line?
So it should fall between the 2 red lines. That is the Z-score, +2 to -2. Everything there is normal. If your child is on green, that is great. Yes, but for some children, like I said, my dad is tall, my mom is tall, so genetically the child will be taller. So if your child is below -3, that is for the stunting column, that is below the yellow, it means that
severely stunted.
They are severely stunted.
So that usually would speak of a medical problem,
then it means that yes, there is a nutrition deficit there. So it could be that there is that stunting. It has everything to do with the feeding of the child.
What about the
everything
one for
has
the
been
boys?
ruled out? So the one for the boys too is the same. Is the same interpretation. So that one too, the boy is supposed to be between +2 to -2. It's the same interpretation for the girls.
So it will be, the height difference will may be slightly different, but it's actually it's
a Z-score that we are paying attention to, because boys are different from girls. So that's why we have one for girls and have one for boys. And even when we were talking, I said that girls at a particular point, that is when they enter into adolescence. So that one too, we have the CDC chart, where that one also focuses on 2 to age 20. So that is it, but this is below 2 to 5, or let's say 0 to 2 years. That is the one we showed earlier on. Earlier on, sorry.
All right. Then let's talk about measurements and how we measure babies' lengths.
So I love this UNICEF board, the infantometer. So because they are children and they can't stand.
It looks like a bench.
What have you? What have you? So this is how to check the length of the baby. Make sure baby's head. So when you go next time, ask that your child's length is checked. And this is how it should be done. So the head to the other end of the board, and then there is this slab that is dragged to measure. So they normally,
so there are markings on the board.
Yes, there are lines
there are markings
on the board. And then the feet of the child should touch that board straight. And the value you record after this has been done is your child's length. So that is how to check the length of a child. And you do it 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, 1 year, 6 months, 2 years. And that until your child is 5 years.
And the final one I want us to look at, and for the sake of viewers, if you want to take take a picture of what we're going to show you. It may be useful,
Very
especially
good.
if you have infants at home. Is the age, the weight versus height, the weight versus height chart.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
have that for boys, we have that for girls.
Yeah.
So if your child's weight at birth, like I said, it will be checked.
Yeah.
And then at 3 months,
There we go.
it needs to be checked. At 6 months, it needs to be checked, like I said. So you
Yeah.
can see they are saying 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. No. So you, after 1 year, you do it every 6 months. So in a
Okay.
year, you should do 2 until your child is 5 years.
Okay.
So if your girl is 3.3, you should know where the child has to be after ruling out all family reasons or genetic reasons.
Yeah.
So when we say that you're ruling all out, we want to see if nutrition is contributing
Okay.
to the problem.
Okay.
And so if your father is this way, your mother is this way, everything that needs to be asked have been asked, but we still have a problem, then
Yeah.
it has everything to do with what you are putting in. There is a
Okay.
deficiency. So you can see how it runs for the boys and the girls, and you can just take a shot of it.
Yeah.
And then compare. If there is a problem or issue,
Yeah.
make sure that you go and then seek a second opinion.
Yeah.
From
so at
a
least
good-
on the screen you can see up to 10 years.
Up to 10,
Up to
12
10
years.
Yeah, but
okay, on the screen,
on the
up
screen,
to 12 years. Don't worry, I'll
Yeah.
put it up.
So then you know you can then check your child's
You can check.
height and weight.
Yes,
You know.
and there is a way to maintain even for adults.
Okay.
Once you also, though we know that you won't grow again, but there's a need to maintain. For some children, there is a problem, so you need HGH, that is the human growth hormones, as a supplement. So when you realize that there's a pitfall, or when you realize that you
shortfall.
have family
Yeah.
issue, you can start early so that you can correct that in
Okay.
a way before your child gets to
Gets to
20
a
years.
age, yeah.
So you make sure you are eating well, making all these nutrients part of your meals, and then you get the HGH supplement,
Right.
and then
Fantastic.
you should be able to
Akosia,
do something
where
on
can
it.
people reach you?
So on
Get more
Instagram at
information.
the Nutritionist Akosia, at the Nutritionist Akosia on Instagram, and Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Nutritionist Akosia, and you can WhatsApp me on 0243 350206.
All right, we've been speaking with Akosia Kodedi-Adam, who is a state-registered nutritionist, and she's been helping us to help our children, feed them well, make sure that they have the correct height and weight balance as they get older.